Kipper, how'd it feel to be out there tonight? Really your first game at home, playing before the fans. Just what was the feeling like?
It was great. It was great. And then, I had all my teammates supporting me, which just gave me confidence to go out there and do the best I could to help. So, yeah.
Kipper, just when did Coach Groce tell you were going to be a bigger part of this rotation, and kind of what was your mindset going in, and how did you kind of feel out tonight?
Me and Coach Groce, we have a good relationship, so we talk constantly. He tells me to just keep doing good, and time will come. It's just a process, so keep getting better each day, and my time will come.
What he said, yeah. But he just, tells me to be ready when my name is called, and just like you said, trust the process, and most importantly, just stay positive throughout, everything.
Coach Beeline said that he'd seen a lot of T-John in high school, and he said he didn't know who you were. And yesterday we were talking about how they stopped recruiting you after. So you think he's going to remember you now?
We'll see. We'll see. I hope so.
Mav, what did those two guys provide for this team tonight? Just seemed like a different kind of energy.
Yeah, I forget who asked me about it. It might have been you after the last game. But when Kipper kind of, stepped up in the Indiana game, then they both did tonight, both T-John and him. And it is hard to explain. It is just a kind of a, I don't want to say like aura and sound like a little lame, but yeah, it's energy. It's, something that not everybody can bring. It really, picks everything up, gets everyone going, crowd included, especially us.
Just what do you see is your role going forward? And I think Kipper kind of the same thing. Just what's your role for this team moving forward?
I feel bringing energy, like Mav said, being a pesky defender on defense, and being a leader on the floor as a point guard. You got to be able to be a leader and lead the team. And main thing is defend. We've been struggling defending lately, and my main goal is when I get in the game is stop the person in front of me. Don't let them score.
Yeah, definitely bring it on the defensive end. Give us a lot of energy on that end. And, at the end of the day, whatever Groce tells me to go out there and do, I'm going to do, so.
Maverick, last year Donnell had 26. I don't know what you had, but it wasn't that many. And it swung the other way tonight. He's not even hardly playing that much. How do you explain what's happening with you and what's happened to him? I mean, it seems like it's dead opposite.
Just want to start off. Mark's like a good friend of mine. I played AAU with both him and Andrew Dockage on that team. Played against, Zach, and played against almost all those guys my age. So Mark's a good friend of mine, and I think last year he did. I believe he scored more in our game than he did the first. I think it was 7 or 8 games leading up to it, and I would say that was kind of like an outlier game. He had it going. It was just one of those nights. But as far as now, I mean, I'm sure he's been working hard in the off season, and I did the same. So I think we're.
Explain the confidence that you have in your shot now. I mean, you had a lot of shots that were basically jump shots. I mean, 15, 16, 18-footers.
Yeah, I mean, years past, I think that's something I've had a gift for, and we, with the way they play ball screens, with the way different people play things, you get more opportunities for that, and I think tonight was just one of those nights.
To tackle this one. Spent a lot of time yesterday talking about defense and how it needed to improve. What did you think about that end of the court, since the offense seemed to flow pretty well?
I think we got better at that. They are, more of a white-collar team traditionally, and, Illinois, we're about toughness in together. Not that they're not, but we kind of pride ourselves on defense, and that's something we've been working to get better at, like T-John said, Kipper alluded to. I think we made some strides tonight. Our defensive efficiency rating, I think, for the game was over, 1.1 something. So got to get that down if we're going to, win. We're not trying to outscore people. We're trying to get stops. But I think we did make some strides tonight through, certain parts of the game, certain stretches we played well.
Mav, how did it help you the first couple possessions where you were inside scoring, or the first couple possessions they had 6 points real quick there? How much did that help you moving forward the rest of the game when you got to such a good start?
I think it was good. I think it was good for us, more importantly. Past couple games we haven't been starting games that well, and not that it's about the offensive end, but that really helps, get people going. It's more about us getting stops at the beginning of games, but when you combo those two things together, it goes really well. So that was good for us to get rolling early.
Tijon and Kipper, there was a play late in the first half where Tijon, you drove and then kind of threw it over your head out to Kipper to hit a three, and Kipper, you made it, and the crowd kind of just went wild. Just what was that maybe moment like where you were able to get such a huge reaction and for a key play in the game?
Yeah, that's my boy, man. That's Tijon. That happens in practice often, man. He has great vision on the court, man. He sees a lot. And so that's just like a regular pass for him, man. It might have seemed kind of cool, but he does that, man. Young fella's good.
I just got to thank him for hitting the shot. I mean, I can't do nothing. I got 8 assists. I got to thank those guys for making the shots. And it's my job to make the right read, and that's what I saw Kipper open, and I'm just thankful he made the shot.
Tijon, your vision was a huge asset coming out of high school. How is the game slowing down for you? Do you feel like it is, and does that help you in that facet?
Yeah, definitely. In practice, Tracy, as being a 6-year senior, he's been helping me a lot, controlling the pace in the game, watching film, learning from my mistakes, and just making the right reads. You can see it. I mean, some people can't, but you just got to be able to make the right play.
Obviously, we did some good things. There's some things we're going to have to clean up a little bit. 64% first half. Defense has got to be better. I thought the second half we were better defensively. We have to look at it. They missed some shots as well. And on our offensive end, when you see the ball go in the hole, I thought we were able to get a little bit of momentum. I will say we played unselfishly, 21 assists, 34 field goals. Thought we were pretty good on the glass till late when they played volleyball a few times there. Late where we got to finish the game the right way on the backboard, but we did some good things. We took a step in the right direction tonight. I thought that we got contributions from a lot of different guys. Guys that came off the bench were ready to play. Obviously we rotated a little bit differently with some guys, and I thought that was was good for tonight. Obviously in this league it doesn't get you much on Saturday, so it's another game on Saturday, and we got to be ready to go at 5 o'clock against a really good Maryland team. But we'll come in tomorrow, take a look at this one, clean up some mistakes like we always do, and be smart about how we manage our bodies here in the next couple days, because it is a quick turnaround with the 5 o'clock tip. Questions?
John, you keep talking about synchronization. Did you see more of it tonight, and do you think that the changes you made were a big part for that?
Yeah, I mean, they did tonight. I still think we're going to need everybody. Every game's different. Every team's different. Their personnel's different. Tonight, I thought heading into the game that it was the best decision for our team that could put us in the best position to compete and win in this game tonight. Moving forward, we got to continue to have everybody else ready. Like I said, every game is different. I did think we played with some synchronization for sure, especially on the offensive end. Jeremy, when you get 21 assists. Now, we made shots, so that helps the assist number. But I thought the ball moved pretty well. I thought we played pretty unselfishly. I thought a big key to the game was we got some stops towards the end of the first half when it was like 30. I think it was 34 all maybe. And then we had a run of stops that we were able to get out a little bit in transition and try to get a little bit of distance there before the half. But obviously it's a good, really, they're hard to guard, man. So our guys dug in a little bit better in the second half. We'll have to see how much of it was they missed shots and how much of it was our defense.
Way back here.
Shannon.
Maverick talking about Kipper and Tijon was talking about their energy level. I think he mentioned their auras actually, but
wow, big word for Mav.
So, but how much of playing them was looking for an energy jolt? How much of it is just you feeling like they're at a certain level now of capability?
I I don't know, Shane. That's a good question. Maybe a little bit of both based on how the energy they gave us at Indiana. Their group that was in there was our best defensive group on Saturday at Indiana when we came back from 22 down to cut it to 9. So that part probably a little bit. And then the fact that you start to trust them a little bit more. They make, a little bit less mistakes. Tijon had 8 assists, obviously, and made us better. I thought defensively has been the big key here lately, and I really noticed it, Shannon, during the bye week leading into the Indiana game, where he was really starting to understand terminology, was thinking less, was reacting more instinctively within our system defensively, knew what he was doing more. So I felt, and I saw that a little bit with Kipper too. Now they made a few mistakes tonight. I know, I'm sure the one turnover he had will definitely be on the film tomorrow, because I about was ready to tackle him if they'd let me on the floor. And then Kipper, had 2 or 3 where, we call something and he ran something else. So we've got to get a couple of those things fixed, but they're making less of those mistakes. And thus they've earned some opportunity. But their energy tonight was good. And what they have to understand is it just doesn't show up again on Saturday at 5 o'clock. Sometimes, with freshmen, they've got to figure that out. And, we got to get them ready to go here over the next 2 days for the challenge on Saturday.
Hey, Coach. In Michigan's past couple games, they had forwards who had pretty good performances against them, Lamar Simmons and DeMonte Dodd. How much did you see what they did on film, and how much that kind of come into your game plan?
Well, a little bit, but we've been, playing inside out for a while now. Obviously, Morgan was pretty efficient down there, and then he did a good job there late in the game of reading. He had 4 assists, for a 5. I mean, he read the post double and digging and threw it out to J. Cole and Hill for shots and made some good decisions there. But we want to do that all the time, regardless of opponent. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that in today's game.
Defensively, I heard from the benches, wanting maybe less help on some dribble drives just because Michigan is a good shooting team. So is execution maybe still kind of the
Well, it was way
biggest
better
issue?
today. I mean, it was much better. I don't know. I like to try to, 80-20. I don't know how you are, Scott, but I'm certainly not perfect. But I don't know. Maybe there's somebody out there that is. But we got to get 80-20 it, so I was telling them that. We got to get to where 80% or more of the time we're nailing it. And I thought today we're closer. Obviously, we'll grade out the film like we always do, grade out each individual, grade every possession, and we'll see what that percentage looks like once we grade it out and see if we can build on it. But I thought we did a better job. We did of guarding the ball, of just a lot of things, defensive rebounding. We were better. So it was, like I said, it was a step in the right direction.
With a little flair, maybe more than what we've seen. How do you balance the flair with the occasional behind the back bounce pass into traffic? How do you?
Yeah, well, I'm okay with the behind the back if he completes it, Tup. That's taken. But you got to let him play and be aggressive and attack. He makes good decisions. He can see things that a lot of guys can't see. From a vision standpoint. He reminds me a little bit of the lefty guard I coached at Ohio, Cooper. So he's got great vision. He can really see things a play ahead. And tonight I thought he had some great passes, made our team better.
DJ not with the team tonight. I mean, just what can you tell us there? And does it pretend to a transfer possibly?
Well, not to my knowledge. I appreciate Brian asked me and said we're thinking about him, and I appreciate everybody thinking about him. As I said to DB, there's, it was a mutual understanding of why he needed to, leave for a few days. There are some things, and I've said this to you guys before, that are a lot more important than basketball, and we certainly respect that, and we'll continue to have conversations with him moving forward, and. Everybody can certainly keep him in their thoughts and prayers.
Just wondering, going forward with Tate and Thorne, what do you see their role, or you didn't have any minutes?
I don't know. Every game will be different, Shannon. Obviously the freshmen played well tonight. I hope they do that every game. That's a challenge, I think, when you're a young guy to be consistent. So we've got to continue to have those guys ready to go. Obviously Michigan's a team that really spreads you out, and there's not a whole lot of teams. I'm sure there's a few out there that have the 2 5-men for them shoot threes. They're like guards, So tonight I just felt like it was a better matchup to play certain guys and rotate a certain way, and we play another game at maybe a different story based on what I see. I still believe and have for a long time that we're a team that's going to be strength in numbers, and that, at night in, night out, we're more than likely going to play at least 9 guys. We're going to continue to need to do that.
Coach, JCL's shot has really been rolling recently, but you get 4 assists out of him tonight. Is that something that's very encouraging for you?
Yeah, he was 4-1 at halftime there, and I thought he really made some heady plays, some good passes. Tried to play the right way. Thought our whole team did, obviously, with the 21 assists. But yeah, he's getting better every day. I mean, obviously we're excited about how he's playing right now, and he's getting better, and I think he's getting to the point where defensively he's caught up about where he was last year at the end of the year. It's pretty close. He's really surging there, and he's getting better on offense as well. With everything he's been through the last 2 off seasons, I mean, he really has had, very abnormal off-season training his entire career here, and it's not his fault. I mean, it just kind of is what it is. So as the healthier he can stay, I'm really excited, because I think he has a really high ceiling when he can have a legitimate, full season and spring and summer and fall like most players have. He really hasn't. He's had an abnormal off season for 2 straight years. So, we kind of just thrown him in there and played. And maybe was a little bit rusty early. Certainly maybe shooting with the shooting hand, and then defensively getting back to where he was, where I thought he was a reliable defender at the end of last year. It's taken him a little bit of time, but he's in that ballpark right now. He's getting better. He really cares about it, watches a lot of film, spends a lot of time wanting to get better. He's a hungry kid. He wants to improve. He works. He grinds, and that's a big reason why he's improving at a rapid rate.
Coach, do you see any similarities, like when Malcolm and Kendrick were freshmen, they didn't play a lot until later in the Big Ten season, kind of like Kipper and Tijon are doing now, and a little bit earlier actually for these guys. Do you see any similarities in terms of the pace of them picking things up and getting more playing time?
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment. Yeah, somewhat similar for sure. They're very similar, because both those teams were that team, and this one had some older guys, but they. I think it's pretty accurate. Those guys started to pick up steam as well, and I think these two are right now, and we're going to need them to continue to be consistent. That's the drum we're going to be beating. With young guys, be consistent with your effort, be consistent with your attitude, be consistent with what you bring to the table every game, every practice, every day. Don't take a play off. We'll continue to hold them accountable to that standard.
Home wins are important anyway, but does this maybe carry any more weight just because you have a couple of losses on the road early?
They all count the same. You can't get too, not that anybody would ever do that, too high or too low after one game in this league or another game, or, they're all different. I think our league just, I haven't had a chance to see every team in a relentless fashion like I have the teams that we've played where we really lock in on them, but I see some of the scores, and I don't know. I think 4 games through, everybody at least had 1 loss. And, like I mentioned to you guys, I think at one point, trying to predict or where, based on one game, that, hey, this looks like the direct, and then all of a sudden the next, I think that's a dangerous, I don't know if I do that. I think our league's that balanced, that much parity. You've got to, every game's different. Tonight we shot 64% from the field. If we replayed the game right now and went out there, I don't know if we'd shoot 64% again. I hope we would. I hope we shoot higher. But I don't know. You got to play the game that's in front of you, the possession that's in front of you, control what you can control. I thought we did a better job of that today. But really, to be honest with you, I did think that, and I said this to the staff, the fight we showed on Saturday when we got hit, really helped us practice and win the game today. The response that those guys had in that game, the 9 turnovers, the defensive rebounding, the 33 free throw attempts, the aggressiveness, the energy level, the fight, the way they battled, and how well they played for 30-some minutes, I think really helped us over the course of the last 2 to 3 days continue to take steps in the right direction.